We both been waiting for this all night. Sure, I've been waiting for you to, you to, you to. Tell me you can take me home. Tell me you can take me home.
Hello and welcome back to another video. I don't actually even know where to start with this one. It's been it's been about 3 weeks since I've been back from Utah, and I feel like I have just dipped. As soon as I got back, I have had to have scans and tests for a possible cancer, and I have got cancer. I have breast cancer. That was my initial diagnosis. Obviously I'm 3 weeks on. I am currently waiting for a PET scan. I'm going to go through everything, the stages of the last 3 weeks. I'm waiting for a PET scan to find out if it's potentially in my lungs as well. But let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back. So I touched down at Heathrow Airport, London, on a Friday evening, right at the end of September. The very next day at lunchtime, I had an appointment for a CT scan. There was still a part of me that was thinking, oh, this is ridiculous. It's not going to be cancer. It's still going to come back as, you know, a cyst or something. I honestly thought that, because Dustin was saying, it's smaller, it can't be cancer. At that time, I didn't know that I've got cancer growing inside of me. So the CT scan was in a mobile CT scan. So I'll insert a couple of clips. I didn't take much when I was there. I'm just here for my CT scan at the hospital. So I'm just waiting to have my CT scan, which I'm dreading. I have to have that contrast solution, which I'm dreading. Dustin's had it and he said that he was violently sick with it, and yeah, it's like a burning sensation, and I'm dreading that. And you can't breathe. I can't breathe now. But yeah, I'm a bit early. I want to go back in at past dead on and get that done. Yeah, scary times. So when you have your CT scan, you will get that, and so you can't wear anything metal on. You can wear your clothes as long as there isn't any metal on your clothing. They will then give you a contrast dye for imaging. The standard practice in the UK is to inject this into your vein, which is what they did for me. And then shortly after that, you have to lay down on the little bed thing that goes into the screen. Now, you are warned that you will get a very warm feeling and that you will want to wee-wee yourself. And for me, the first place I felt like a heat sensation was in my throat, and then it very quickly just went through my whole body. And yes, I know what they're talking about. It goes straight to your bladder area where you feel like a warm sensation. But it isn't horrible, it isn't unpleasant. It is just a complete warming sensation of your body. I actually thought it was quite pleasant. Admittedly, I'm admitting that it wasn't unpleasant. It was quite pleasant, actually. It was a weird sensation. And then you're put through the machine, and that's it. And then you're free to go. So throughout this video, I will be filming it over several days, because I have to try and remember everything that happened in the process and my feelings and everything. I already had a bone scan booked, which would occur after the day after I had my consultant's appointment, and I was thinking, oh, maybe I should cancel it because I might not even have cancer and then I wouldn't need the bone scan. Anyway, I didn't cancel it. I went to my consultant's appointment, and that was when I was given the news that actually the results had come back from the biopsy that I did indeed have breast cancer. I just think I silently started crying. Even though in the back of my head I knew that it could be cancer, there was a part of me that was really hoping it wasn't, and I was thinking, no, it can't be. The timing of everything, it just can't be. That can't happen. You do think this can't happen to me. Understandably, I was very shocked. She very quickly went through what had been found. She went through the size and everything of the cancer that they'd found, and also she said that it had come back that there was cancer cells in one lymph node in my armpit. She made it quite clear at that point that it could be curable through having an operation to remove the lump and to remove the lymph node and the surrounding lymph nodes. And then after surgery, so it would take 4 to 6 weeks to heal from that surgery, they would then recommend me having chemotherapy as a preventative strategy so that they could keep cancer at bay, basically, and then probably radiotherapy afterwards. So she went through the breast operation and what she could do. There was 2 ways she could do it. So my lump is right at the side. So she could go in at the side and take the lump out and take the lymph nodes out, but that would leave my boob basically to kind of cave in, so it could look a bit strange. Or she could go upwards, remove the lump, remove the surrounding breast tissue, and do a breast reduction on that left one. And then she said in a year's time I could then have my right side done so it would match that one. So yeah, basically it would be just like she would then do like a breast job to make, you know, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know why I'm laughing, and none of this is funny, but you know, reduce the breast size and lift them, and that you wouldn't know basically, apart from some slight scarring tissue. So that was, the latter one was what we decided to go on, to go with. And obviously I was having the bone scan the next day. She said that she wasn't expecting anything to come back from the CT scan or bone scan with the data that she had from the tests, from the mammogram and ultrasound. From that data, she wasn't expecting that. Right, so just to go quickly through the technical definition. So my diagnosis: left breast cancer, lower outer quadrant, 400 millimeters on mammogram, 28 millimeters on ultrasound. Axillary ultrasound, single abnormal looking lymph node in the left axilla. The core biopsy, grade 3, invasive ductal carcinoma, estrogen receptor 8/8, HER2 receptor negative. That is my official diagnosis. They have not given me a stage yet. I believe this is because they were waiting for the bone scan results and the CT scan results, which at this point they didn't have. So my consultant's recommendations is that they were going to do breast conserving surgery and axillary lymph node clearance, and then likely to require chemotherapy, awaiting results. So that was where I was at on that day. So it was kind of shocking, and I just wanted to just crawl up and just curl in a ball, and I don't know, it's like life flashes past you, and then I was thinking about everything for the future, and you just become very, very reflective. it's hard to put it into words, but at no point, and even now, have I felt angry about this diagnosis. And I know people can say, why me? And it is easy to say, why me? But then realistically, why not me? You know, why shouldn't it be me? Why should it be anybody? You know, I can't think like that. I've just got to think that this has happened, and I've got to try and think positive, even though it's real. People can say, think positive, it's going to be all right. And you can hope that. The reality is your brain, when you hear cancer, goes to automatic death. It's a death sentence. You automatically go to that. And I needed to process that.
Somewhere along the way, somehow we ended up at a crossroad and we got lost. Somewhere you chose to go left, while I turned the other way, and you got lost.
So over the next few days, my emotions were like this. So I'm going to insert some clips. I'm trying to make sense of this and put it in an order, and that it will make sense of what's happened. But yeah, I was very lucky that my mum came with me, and she was really supportive. My consultant also checked me again, and she was like, I can't feel anything in your armpit. And then I can't remember the words she used, but on the side of my breast there was obviously some speckling. I don't know, maybe she said speckling on my skin, which is kind of important for the later what's happened since. I just feel like the last 3 weeks it's just been like so much going on and everything. So yeah, I left and I went home, and I spent time with my daughter, and I spent time reflecting, meditating, praying, not wanting to eat. Appetite just went like that. Just did not want to eat. So that's where I'm up to at the moment. So here's some clips.
On Facebook, and most of them said you're strong, you're strong, you're strong, you're strong. That's how people see you. So it has to be a reflection of what you are, how people see us. So, but right now, don't be strong. Cry, be mad, all of it, baby. Let it all out. Punch something if you want to, rip something apart if you need to. But most importantly, you share with your man.
When I was driving in, I was like thinking all the plans we had, and I just feel like it's all gone. Everything's just changed now. Well, I'm trying to be positive and optimistic and all of that, but I'm just, I don't know, being out, and then you look at everybody going about their normal lives and buying for the home and stuff, and I think, I know I'm being negative, and I need to get out of that mindset. I know I do. Instead of focusing on worst case scenario, I need to hold on what she said, that they don't believe that it, but then you just never know, do you? And so I'm gonna be having surgery in 7, 8, 9 days time. It'll be out, and the lymph node will be out, and the surrounding lymph nodes, and I'm sure this tightness is anxiety and pain from trauma of being told what I was told, because that's how I react. Like I had this before, didn't I, when they said, we think you've got breast cancer. I had this same tightening and pain, and then when I came out to see you, it went away. I didn't have it.
But yeah, it's nerves, and you're tired because of stress and emotional, and you haven't rested in 2 fucking months. You haven't. Coming out here was exhausting. All the travel and just... Me, I can be a little exhausting. I know this. But just everything, it's just... You're just wore out, babe. You know. But I did catch one thing in there, and if it has spread, it hasn't stopped us, okay? It's going to slow things down, but people live all the time. You do have a fighting chance no matter what, okay? And we're just going to keep pressing in. We'll keep reading the word and doing our thing, and just, we got to move one step at a time, sweetheart.
I don't feel too bad. I've just got this ache under my armpits, particularly the burning is like more under my armpit in the lymph nodes. I said to my mum, I'm really having a down day today because I feel different. I feel more in pain, like uncomfortable, like it's starting to swell a bit. Yeah, I feel like it's swelling on the side. And I said, I'm just really scared it's spread because I don't know how I'll cope with that. I'm not going to cope, I will crumble. I know I will. And I keep seeing that woman's face after my scan. That's all I keep seeing is her face. But yeah, at least I'm going into work. It'll take my mind off, and then I'm in work tomorrow.
And having another moment. Thinking about what you're going through. Because I've been there, man. I'm so with you. You just... Oh, God, babe. So, yeah, that last song I sent you is actually a song to God, but you can sing it any way you want, you know? Believe it any way you want, or don't believe it at all. But what's wrong with believing that way, you know? I'm not talking the Bible or religion. I'm gonna lose my shit here in a minute. Good morning. I love you very much.
Right, so the other thing I will say is when I had that diagnosis of breast cancer and they went through that they were going to line up an operation for me, they also gave me, I want to say, like a little gift bag. It's not really a gift bag because it's full of leaflets, so I'm going to just show you the contents of that. So it's pretty much as I received it. So I did open this. It's like a little hand knitted little pillow, which they said women find really useful for putting under their arm after surgery when they've had their operation, because it's soft, cozy, very pretty colours. There was also some tissues, because you're going to cry a lot, believe me, you are. There was also some cream for your hands, hand and nail cream. And I want to say this was a little bit of tea and some sweets in here, which I just want to say this, like, I won't be using, I'll use the tea, but I won't be using the sweets. One of the reasons I won't be using the sweets is they are packed full of sugar. So there is research that is being conducted to look at what does cancer need to thrive. And this also has come up when I was looking at the fine details of my PET scan that is due, which I'll talk further in another video. one of the things they give you is radioactive glucose. Glucose is sugar, and that's the energy that the cells need, the cancer cells need to become active. So to give women sweets, they're packed full of sugar. I personally, I wouldn't recommend. I think anything you can do naturally to try and help yourself, you should do. And I'm not going to. I've completely cut out sugar. Since I found out, I have cut out cakes, chocolate, sweets, fizzy drinks, ice cream, and I have shifted to a more plant-based diet and keto diet as well. I'm trying it. I'm going to see if it works. I think it will hopefully help, or at least slow my cancer down. That's what I'm hoping, especially as I'm still waiting for treatment at the time of filming this. So anyway, that was in the bag, and then there was a pile of leaflets to work my way through. So that one, I'm just going to flash them up for you. And this does make it. And then of course post-operative advice after breast surgery, treating primary breast cancer, and just other leaflets. I'm also entitled to free prescriptions now as well, so she gave me that to fill in, the form to fill in, and a little notebook. I suppose you could use this for anything. Maybe you want to write notes in at the hospital or your appointments and use it particularly for that. So that was what was in my bag. It's a lovely gesture, but it did take me a while to actually go through the bag, and I haven't gone through the leaflets. I'm taking one day at a time at the moment. So I want to also say I actually couldn't even look at this. I want to say it was a week and a half later, maybe 2 weeks, before I could even open it up and see what was inside. It wasn't that I was in denial about having cancer, but it was just too much. It was too overwhelming. I had to deal with the fact that, yes, I've got cancer now, and looking at these leaflets was like confirming I wasn't in that place. And I would say to anybody, don't let anybody pressure you on your feelings. You have to work through your own emotions during that time at your pace, and it may take 2 weeks to be in denial. You know, it may take some people 2 days. We all go at different speeds and different rates, but it was actually Dustin who said, let's have a look inside the bag, and we went through it together. So this is what was inside. So when you get the diagnosis of cancer, obviously you think worst case scenario, and you think about, am I going to live? Will it end up being terminal? Am I going to die from this? How long have I got left to live? I couldn't ask those questions like really depth. I just wanted surface information. That's all I want to deal with at the moment, and I still feel that way. But you do become very spiritual as well, and you become a lot more reflective about your life. And I think I just my whole life, and or anything I felt guilty about, or things I could have done better, just flashed through my head completely. And I have completely changed since I've come back. I was already a spiritual person anyway, and then when me and Dustin have had that experience in the Catholic Church, I was starting to shift to believe, not to be religious, because I don't believe in religions. I believe they're very much money orientated and about control and money. That's the problem I have with religion. Whereas I feel like if you believe in Jesus or God, that's a spiritual thing between you and God. That's how I feel. But I have, and this may sound really weird, I don't know why, I keep seeing Jesus everywhere. Dreams, even at work, like a pencil case, which one of our clients, which I'd never seen before, was saying, I love Jesus. And then a road sign talking about walk with Jesus on the back, written on this random road sign in the middle of nowhere. And I have become a bit more, maybe there's something in that. So that made Dustin very happy, because he does believe in God and Jesus and everything. And he bought me a cross, which I'm wearing around my neck. He bought me a silver cross, and then he bought me another one, which he had engraved, which is on my, you know, it's a lot bigger, and it is engraved. So John 3 verse 16, and then this, which is a little private thing between me and Dustin. Basically, that even after this life, we'll meet again in the next life. Dustin also got me a beautiful bunch of flowers to try and cheer me up as well. They're so beautiful, thank you. I really love the colour. It's ironic that I'm wearing pink. I matched them today. Thank you very much. And they're beautiful. I'm going to put them, I'm going to clear my bedside camera because I've been a bit of a slob since everything. So I need to pull myself together, don't I? And I will.
You know, I'm your biggest cheerleader, okay? I'm glad you like the flowers. You needed that around your house, something living and beautiful. You just did. So put them on your desk. You can smell them, and it's really nice of your neighbor to deliver them, but you look outstandingly beautiful in your pink with your hair all done and stuff. You look fabulous, baby. You're gonna be like, I didn't do my hair, it's just messy. Baby, you look good. Oh, you look fucking good.
He's so thoughtful like that. Like, he's so generous, and I keep telling him to stop, but he won't. He doesn't listen. He does what he wants to do. But they were so beautiful. And it just makes me realise how incredibly lucky I am to have him in my life, and the things that he's done for me, and the support he gives me every single day, trying to cheer me up. If I'm not feeling that, he'll sit there and he'll listen to me, which a lot of people can't, because they don't know what to say to you. They don't know how to handle it. I know Dustin has said to me that if he hadn't have gone through his cancer first, he's not sure if he could have given me the support that he is now able to. But I think sometimes he doesn't give himself enough credit. But he has been absolutely amazing, and I can ask for anything more. So after my diagnosis, I wasn't back in work. I was in work over the weekend. I've made it quite clear with all my colleagues and the people that I support that I have cancer, and that it's breast cancer, and this is what might happen. I didn't want certain people knowing and other people not knowing, and also because I've been put on light duties, I didn't want people like, why is she on light duties? She looks fine and everything. So, and I just thought it's best if everybody knows. On reflection, I don't know if that was the right thing to do or a bad thing to do now. Just because of some things that have happened since, you know. But I want to talk about my workplace and my manager's response, because it was disgusting. It was really spiteful, really horrendous, and just added to that pain as well. A really difficult time. Right, so I went back to work. I had only known for 5 days that, was it even 5 days? Roughly 5 days that I did indeed have cancer. So it was still fresh in my head. I was still coming to terms with it. I went into work. I asked to see my manager because, and at this point, over that weekend, I'd received a letter for my surgery. It was really quick. They literally put in that straight away, and I had my letter scheduled for the next week for my surgery and my operation. So I asked to see my manager to let her know that I was going to be off work for 4 to 6 weeks, and for her to cross me off the rota. Anyway, I went in. And she asked me, she went, "Oh, I've been trying to catch you all day. So glad you came to see me." She said, "How are you feeling?" I said, "Well, you know, I'm coming to terms with it. It's hard. There's still a little bit of me. I suppose they're still processing it." So it's something on those lines is what I said. And she said, "Yeah, that's understandable." It was a shock to everybody here, all your colleagues. She was like this. And then she went, "While I've got you here," and there's no easy way for me to say this, Sarah, she was going, "There's no easy way for me to say this, but we need to update your life insurance." And I just, at that point, the tears just went down my face, because it was like, oh my God, you think I'm going to die? that was the thought that went through my head. And that, you know, to protect my daughter, you know, make sure that she's got money that would come to her. That was bad enough that I'd only just gone back to work with a fresh diagnosis, and it was pretty off the cuff that she very quickly launched into that. But it was the next thing that she said that was absolutely harrowing. And she said, because I was crying, she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you cry. I didn't mean to make you cry, but, well, actually I did." She said, "There was a part of me that did that out of spite." Something like that. I did that out of, to be cruel. That was what she said. "I did that to be cruel because I need to know that you're accepting your cancer diagnosis." And that there, you crying, just shows me that you are now accepting it, because you need to accept it. I sat there and I just thought, how could you be so cruel to do that to a woman to woman, and me as a single mom? Sorry, I had to stop, because it really affected me, that did, to actually, to say you wanted to get a reaction. And I just felt like, is that how you treat somebody who's just found out they've got cancer and doesn't know what their outcome's going to be in the long term? That you can do that, and want to see them cry. And I sat there in the office and I thought, you don't see me at night when I'm trying to get to sleep, that I silently cry myself to sleep. Or the anxiety I have, the fact that I'm coming into work with I smile to everybody. You know, I actually take pleasure in being around the clients, because they just treat me as normal and we just carry on. The fact that you want to get a reaction to make me cry and show a response is the very reason why I put my barriers up to people, because people are sick. They really are. I can't even tell you Dustin's response when I remember I video messaged him, and he was not happy. He was like, "If I'd have been there, you wouldn't even have a job now." You know, because he was absolutely fuming.
They don't know what they're talking about. You are dealing with it perfect. You know you have a potential to die. You don't need them bitches to point that out. You know what I mean? I'm sorry they made you feel that way. What's wrong with going back to work when you get chemo and working and doing stuff? People do it all the time. It's called living. You know what I mean? You can tell what she would do if she went through anything traumatic. But you're dealing with this shit just fine. So you got plenty of reality check, baby. You know that you could lose your life and leave everybody that loves you. You don't need them to remind you that. It's been on your mind constantly. So I'm sorry they made you feel worse. That pissed me off. Oh, that pissed me off. I'm listening to your thing again, where she said, well, I just did that to see if there's emotions there. Bitch, there's fucking emotions there. You know you got cancer. You're the one with it. That fucking pissed me off. That's like emotional manipulation bullshit.
And then she went on to talk about how with HR, with taking sickness, don't worry, I'll contact them and I will fight on your behalf so that you don't go down the disciplinary route. And she was saying all of this to me, all of this, which is significant because of the information I've since found out, that actually, because I have cancer, I am now classified as disabled and I'm protected by discrimination laws in the UK. And they need to make adjustments. I didn't know that. I actually researched that and found that from Macmillan Support, a cancer charity in the UK. And she was sat there making out that she, almost like that she was on my side. And now I'm just like, absolute rubbish, absolute rubbish. You're not a person I would want on my side at all. It was so painful. So painful. I went home that night and I just cried, and I told Clara what happened, and me and Clara had a heart to heart, and we went through everything as well. It's really hard. I feel like there's so many dimensions to this story, like work-based and family-based and the cancer treatment. And you know, that was the first time Clara opened up and said, if anything happens to you, I don't want to live with my dad, I want to live with Nana. And you know, and then your heart breaks because you're just like, I don't want to die, I want to live, I want to be there. Because Clara doesn't really have anyone other than my mum, and my mum's going to be 70 next year and she hasn't got any siblings. She doesn't really see her cousins that much that she does have on her dad's side. She doesn't want to live with her dad. Who's she got? Who has she got? I have to live, you know. But yeah, but I also came out of my works meeting and I just thought, I've got to survive. I've got to be strong. I can't let people make me feel like shit, and I can't show reaction again. That was how I felt. That was so cruel. I couldn't imagine doing that, to try and get a reaction out of someone, to cause them more pain than the pain that they're already going through. I'm going to have to stop now because I'm going to just burst into tears. It was horrible. Right, so after finding out that I had breast cancer and that they were going to operate, I still had to have a bone scan. So the next day I attended this. My appointment was at 11 o'clock. So a bone scan is going to look for any diseases or any fractures in your bones, or if cancer has spread to your bones. It's a nuclear medicine imaging technique that uses a small amount of radioactive material to actually examine your bones. So they will inject this via your vein, which is what happened to me. I was told to go away and make sure that I drink plenty. I had to come back at 1 o'clock, so that was to allow 2 hours for it to circulate around my body. And I just remember feeling really depressed that I was going. I don't know. I think because the day before I'd found out I had breast cancer, and here I was back at the hospital again for a bone scan, and I just remember feeling horrendous and depressed, and I just felt so low. Me and my mum went to a cafe and we sat there and I was looking at everybody. We were in Dunelms, so we were looking at all the like furniture and all the home gadgets and stuff, and I was looking down at people shopping and I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do this in 2 years, you know, what if it's in my bones, and you know, and I just felt really, really depressed. It was a horrible feeling. It was just sickening. So when it was time to go back, I went back. So you get put on the trolley thing that then goes into the scanner. I will warn you that it started off here right by my face, and that was really suffocating. I found that I became really claustrophobic, and I just had to close my eyes and pretend it wasn't there. and then the machine slowly works down your whole body. I freaked out because when the woman came back to me, she didn't say anything. She had been previously quite friendly and chatty, and she just looked at me. And I remember looking at her thinking she's seen something on the, you know, the scan machine, and seeing something. And I was absolutely panicking after that. I remember getting up and I said to my mum, she's seen something on her face. I just absolutely panicked. It was horrible. I couldn't eat that day. I did continue to drink. 2 days later, I was in work and I started vomiting. I think that week, having all these contrast dyes, radioactive substances put in my body just affected me, and I was violently sick in work twice. But then it kind of settled then. So I would always recommend keep drinking, really flush all those substances out of your body as soon as you have them, because I was violently sick. So that bone scan was on Thursday. I had my next consultation appointment booked for the following Wednesday. It was a telephone consultation. The day before that telephone consultation, I had a telephone call from her receptionist telling me that she wanted to change it from a telephone consultation to a face-to-face. I absolutely freaked because I knew that something had come back on those scan results for her to then want me to come in. I can't, just the emotion I felt was like just washed over me, and I was like, it's in my bones. I saw that woman's face when I had my bone scan and when she came back to help me off the table. I can't even explain the feeling I had. It was almost like a sense of feeling defeat, powerlessness. This is the end. And I remember just ringing my mum straight away and telling her, and she just, that was haunting. She just burst into tears. I think she'd kept it together at that point, and then it just came out. I said, it's got to be in my bones. I said I have to accept my fate. My mum was like, oh, please God, please let it be me. Let me have it. You know, Zora's got a whole lot. She was just crying, like almost like saying it into the air rather than to me on the other end of the line. You know, please let me have it. She's got Clara. She needs to be there for Clara. And it was absolutely heartbreaking to hear your mom break down like that. And then I went into just talking like, it's okay, I accept my fate, you know. And even when my mum was saying, let me have it, I said, no, it's not you to have it, it's me. I'm meant to have it. And I just remember saying, you know, it's okay, I'll come back for you guys. I believe in another life. I believe that there's something else. That this isn't it. But that was just like the hardest thing to have to hear your parent break down because they think they're going to lose you, you know, in a couple of years. And the pain is, you can't even explain it. Your mental state. And I remember coming off the phone, and my mum said she'd come round in the next day to pick me up to take me to my appointment, my consultant's appointment. And I just remember that evening just staying in bed, being extremely quiet, kind of just in acceptance that it's over mentality. That was how I felt. I honestly, for those people given terminal diagnosis, mentally, that is the most vicious, cruelest thing that can happen to someone. It's just horrible. And yeah, your whole life flashes before you. And this is where I'm going to end this video, because I feel like there's so much to this, what's happened the last few weeks. So this is part 1. Part 2, I'm going to come back with my consultant's appointment and what's happened since then. So yeah, I'm going to end it here because it is emotional, it's hard, it's painful. But this is the road I'm on at the moment. This is I don't know if I'll get a rainbow at the end, but I'm going to try. So please join me in the next video, which is going to be part 2, which is when I go to my consultant's appointment, where she has the results of the CT scan and the bone scan. For everybody out there who's watching, take care, and thank you for all your support. Thank you.